Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jordan with Big Boy Toys, and today is going to be a Big 3 recall edition. And today, Ford's got another doozy. I'm going to show you these pictures real quick. This recall is going to have to do with these axle tubes right here where they're going to collapse down. It's going to cause all kinds of problems. So let me get into these pictures, and then we'll go over the documentation and get you guys up to date. So let's get into it. All right, so let me go over these pictures real quick. I'll show you guys these, and then we'll get into the documentation from both Ford and NHTSA. So here's a picture of the axle tube. You can see it right here. And these are the leaf springs up here. And on the sides are your U-bolts. And then right here is the block that's in between the leaf spring and the axle tube. And then this is the seat in here. And then right here you can see this is axle oil that's actually, because this axle tube has been pinched down, the axle oil is actually coming out of it. And you can see down here it's leaking over here as well. And I'm pretty sure this axle is pinched in two places, right up here and even down here. And I got another picture of it here. You can see it better, how it's just, that tube is just crushed down. And here's another picture of it. And you can see all the axle oil has come out of there. And another picture of it here. And so the way I came across this, well, initially about a month and a half ago, I was on Facebook. And I was in this post here. And this is on the 2020 plus Ford Superduty Owners Group. And this post was by TJ Wobig. And I remember reading this, and you can see it was posted June 10th. And this is what he says. He says, anyone else crushed their axle? Ford claims I overloaded the truck. They also said they've never seen this happen before, which I have not. This is a 21 F350. I'm calling faulty housing on this. My tire should blow out before the axle crunches like this. Time to fight for a new axle. First update, Ford denied the claim to fix it. They said since both sides are cracked, it was overloaded. Calling claim now. Another update, been back and forth with Ford for 2 weeks. They won't cover it all, won't even give a decent offer to buy the truck back. They can't even get the parts for it. They quoted $8,200 for repair. Also, Ford Care is full of bull bleep, and I'll be damned if I buy another one after the bleep I've dealt with. Update, found a used axle for $2,250 with only $6K on it. So this poor guy fought with Ford over this, and Ford denied these claims. And I'm hoping they're going to take care of them. So let me get into this recall here. I got some documentation. So this is dated July 15, 2021. And it's going to cover 27,604 units. And we'll read through some of this. Estimated percentage with defect, 100%. 2020 to 2021 Ford F350 Superduty pickup. And here's the thing with this too, guys, is that I got an F250 gas pickup truck with a 7.3 in there, and it's a Tremor. And these Tremors are supposed to have the same axle as the F350s have in it. So my experience with these recalls, sometimes they'll say, they'll give a range of trucks and say this recall is going to affect this certain range of trucks. And then as time goes on, a lot of times they will expand some of these recalls. So if you got something other than an F350, a 2021, I would still pay attention to this because this might affect you down the line. So it says Ford's team reviewed plant records to determine the population of affected vehicles. The recall part was introduced in production on 8/6 of 2020 and was taken out of production 5/15 of 2021. The affected vehicles are the F350 single rear wheel pickup trucks equipped with a 6.7 liter diesel engine and the Dana model 275 rear axle. And again, my F250 gas, I'm pretty sure has the same axle in it. And I don't know why they just say 6.7. So anyway, so it says these VINs are not produced, or these vehicles are not produced in VIN order. Information as to the applicability of this action to specific vehicles can best be obtained by either calling Ford's toll-free number or by contacting Ford Lincoln dealer. And then it says production dates down here, August 6, 2020 to May 15th, 2021. And if you don't know it, you can usually find your production date on your door sticker on the inside of your truck. It should have it there. It also has it on your window sticker from when you bought the truck. So description of defect: reduced axle tube wall thickness in the spring seat area in combination with two spring seat attachment sidewell locations may be insufficient to support the design load capacity requirements for the F350 single rear wheel 6.7 liter diesel pickup truck. Compromised welds may cause axle lube leak, which, if you looked at those pictures I showed you, had that. Should the spring seat attachment loosen, the rear axle may shift rearward, potentially resulting in drive shaft separation from the rear axle. So if we go back to these, let me go back to this picture here. So what I'm thinking what happens is that when this gets crunched down in here, basically this axle tube, the entire axle can rotate. And when it does rotate forward or backward, I think they just said forward, but when it rotates forward, it can basically pop your drive shaft out while you're going down the road and cause a catastrophe, if you can imagine. Not to mention whatever you're loading and your axles tubes are being crushed, that could cause a big problem in its own. So let's get back to where we're at. Description of safety risk: in the event of the drive shaft disconnection, customers may experience loss of motive power while driving and loss of transmission park function if parking brake is not applied, increasing the risk of a crash. An improperly validated axle design change by supplier. Identification of any warning: customer may experience vibration and or shaking while driving at highway speeds and or shuddering upon acceleration. So keep that in mind, guys, if you start experiencing any of this. But if you're like me, you're probably already ran out to your truck and inspecting already. So keep an eye on this stuff. Involved components: so they got the caliper bolts, collapsible spacer, head bearing cone, head bearing cup, housing, another housing, hub seal, lube, pinion flange bolts, pinion flange strap, pinion nuts, pinion nut washer, and it just kind of goes on and on. It looks like, I mean, by reading everything in here as far as parts goes, it looks like you're probably going to have to, looks like they're going to replace the entire axle. Chronology: on May 13, 2021, an issue pertaining to the rear axle housing deformation on certain F350 pickup trucks was brought to Ford's Critical Concern Review Group for review. 12 reports aligning rear axle tube deformation and corresponding weld separation at the spring seat interface on certain 2020 to 2021 Super Duty single rear wheel trucks with 6.7 engine and a Dana Model 275 rear axle have been received. 4 of these reports involve drive shaft disconnection from the rear axle. Review of the supplier records found that a design change that reduced the axle wall thickness in the spring seat area had been incorporated for the Model 275 rear axle beginning August 6, 2020. Axle torsional impactor component testing and vehicle level testing was conducted and reproduced the field concerns. Further analysis found that the 6.7 liter F350 single rear wheel pickup vehicle configuration is uniquely susceptible to subsequent axle deformation based on the higher torsional impact loading and CCWR associated with the F350 diesel engine variant. Analysis has found that other vehicle configuration equipped with the axles are non-susceptible to tube deformation based on lower engine torque output and or lower payload and towing capacity. On July 8th, 2021, Ford's Field Review Committee reviewed the concern and approved the field action. Ford is not aware of any reports of accidents or injuries related to this condition. Description of remedy: owners will be notified by mail and instructed to take their vehicle to a Ford or Lincoln dealer to have dealers inspect the rear axle to determine if the deformation is present. If the axle housing is deformed, the housing will be replaced. If the axle housing is not deformed, the dealer will perform a weld repair on the spring seats, which I don't like. I don't know why they just replaced the whole axle with the new one. There'll be no charge for this service. Ford is excluding reimbursement for costs because the original warranty program would provide for a free repair. Ford is excluding reimbursement for costs because the original warranty. So hopefully that guy on Facebook, I don't know exactly what this verbiage means. Hopefully he can get recoup on the money that he had already spent. If the customer's axle housing is found deformed, the axle housing will be replaced with one that has constant wall thickness versus the recalled variable wall thickness. If the axle is not found to be deformed, additional welding to each spring seat at the axle housing in the area without existing weld will be performed and the axle will be reinstalled. Now, let's see here. Corrective actions will be implemented on May 15, 2021 at the vehicle assembly facility. Existing rear axle housing stock was corrected via weld repair on the spring seat. Notification to the dealers will be sent out on 7/16/2021, and mailing of owner notification letter is expected to be 8/16/2021. And also, guys, with this documentation, I'm going to put a link to all these down in the description, so that way if you need to take these into the dealer or what have you, you'll have it. So, see, the next one I have, this one is from Ford Motor Company. And basically this is saying certain 2020 to 2021 model year F350 pickup trucks equipped with the 6.7 Kentucky truck assembly plant is going to be a Kentucky truck assembly plant. Build dates August 6, 2020 through May 15, 2021. Reason for the safety recall. Let's see, it pretty much says the same thing. Service action. I don't see anything too much different in this. All right, and I have one more documentation. This basically is from Ford that they send out to NHTSA. This letter serves to acknowledge Ford Motor Company's notification to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration of a safety recall, which will be conducted pursuant to federal law. Blah, 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 Ford F350, July 15th. It's got the NHTSA number in here. You guys may need that when you go to the dealerships. Potential vehicles, 27,604. And I know some of you might say, oh, that's not a lot of trucks compared to what they sell. But boy, if you're one of these guys with this going on, you are not going to be happy, especially if you buy a F350 with a 6.7 towing real heavy. I mean, that's why you buy it, and then you're dealing with that. So you're not going to be happy if you're one of the 27,000. Let's see, consequence, kind of the same thing. Remedy, kind of the same thing. Just kind of scrolling through this real quick to see if there's anything that I need to go over. It doesn't look like it. So, yeah, there you have it, guys. Go over these pictures one more time. Again, this is the leaf. This is a block in between that and the axle. Here's the U-bolts. And I don't know really where they're going to be laying welds at in here. But you can see these are pinched down on both sides, and this axle oil has come out of there. So I think if you guys go out there and inspect your trucks, it's definitely going to be obvious. You're going to see definitely indentation up here, and you're going to see some axle grease leaking out of there. So, and I went through some of these, the comments in this Facebook post. There's 43 comments in there, and it just kind of goes on, and people are coming up with all kinds of ideas. But I'm gonna go into this and post this video, and hopefully, I don't know if this guy knows about this, but hopefully this information will help him out, and hopefully Ford looks like he said he found a used axle for $2,250. And yeah, so hopefully Ford will take care of him on this. Anyways, there you have it. Hopefully this helps some of you guys out. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next video.